Even if you are not a connoisseur of art, you most certainly know Shepard Fairey's work, like the famous sticker campaign seen around the world featuring French wrestler Andre the Giant, which he designed while attending the Rhode Island School of Design in the 80s. Shepard, not Andre, that is, and turned into a global brand called Obey. He also co-created these anti-Iraq War and anti-George Bush posters for a street art campaign called Be the Revolution in 2004. And of course, he is the man behind the most influential president campaign art probably of all time, the iconic Obama Hope poster from 2008. Now Shepard Fairey is bringing his talents to Boston, days away from painting a new ocean-inspired mural on the side of the New England Aquarium's Simons Theater for the Seawalls Artists for Oceans Global Public Art Initiative. Shepard Fairey joins me now. Shepard, it's great to meet you. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, Jim.
Why'd you decide to do this?
Well, I really care about the environment. I care about climate change. I care about endangered species. And I care about how art in public spaces can create conversations that wouldn't happen otherwise. So this is really the perfect synthesis of a lot of my passions. And I lived in Providence, Rhode Island for many years, spent a lot of time in Boston, have a fondness for Boston. So I'm excited for the opportunity to put a mural in such a loved and iconic location as well in the New England Aquarium.
It is loved and iconic. You know, I think you probably then answered already my next question about the impact of public art. I don't know what verb you used a second ago about inspiring conversations, but I think a lot about it, and I'm sure you do too. Does it provoke change, or does it simply, and I don't mean simply in a disparaging sort of way, reinforce beliefs that people have coming in?
Well, I know that it can do both, and that's from 30 years of experience. I am a very hopeful person. I'm operating all the time based on faith that we can create a better future, write a better story. And so the ways in which art can impact someone emotionally and then have them reconsider an intellectual position that maybe was something that they hadn't really thought in a different way about, that's a beautiful opportunity. And I think that when you look at public space as a common reference point, it should definitely be used for more than just advertising and government signage. I think that the expression of ideas is crucial in that space.
I'm so thrilled to be talking to somebody who feels hope. I just want you to know that, Shepard, by the way, you're unfortunately a minority in my world. Can you give us a hint, I don't know if you're doing this at all, about what you're creating here with your colleagues in Boston?
Well, sure. My mural is one of, I think, 13 or 14 murals total. Mm-hmm. Mine is featuring the North Atlantic right whale, which is an endangered whale that is, in the New England area, in the waters in the New England area. And I've created a decorative element emanating from the whale of a mandala with the earth in the center, with both flowers for representing possibility and bloom, but also flames with the threat of climate change and global warming, all mixed in a way that hopefully would intrigue the viewer and make them consider all the different dynamics at play and the importance of healthy oceans to a healthy planet and all the species on the planet being healthy.
By the way, if people, I'll mention this in a few minutes, want to watch you and your team work on Saturday, they can come down and do it and see a film as well. For people who don't want to wait, though, I am told that your work is appearing in the skies off the beaches of Cape Cod for a campaign called Power to the Patients. And I'm told this also has something to do with the fact that hospitals are obligated by law to be letting patients know what prices are, but virtually every hospital in America is not complying. I assume there's a deep personal interest in this?
Well, I've thought that the rising costs of healthcare are really a problem for a lot of families who are living month to month, paycheck to paycheck. And for me as a type 1 diabetic, and my wife has multiple sclerosis, we're personally impacted by healthcare costs. So making sure that people know that they have the right to the cost of the services that they get up front, so that it creates competition and a transparency, because prices vary wildly from provider to provider. It's just one step in creating a more a kinder, more equitable system. And social justice is my thing, and whether that's around race or xenophobia or the environment or the need for people to have access to healthcare. This is where I want to put what I want to put my art behind, where I want to put my energy.
By the way, I should have said at the beginning, when I said up in the skies, and people are saying, what does that mean? They're banners flying behind airplanes on the weekends behind the beaches when people are hanging out there.
That, and several murals painted
Great.
in different cities. Usually I paint all my own murals with the help of a small team, but this was a campaign where I really believed in the idea of a critical mass that is about the empowerment for the people that are normally disempowered. And I think that street art is a great representation of that idea, and other artists joining forces and showing a solidarity is a really powerful statement.
Shepard, I mentioned at the beginning the ubiquitous Obey stickers. And almost every time I go into somebody's house and I see an Obey sticker, I conclude there is an inverse, let me make sure I get this right, yes, an inverse proportion between the number of stickers I see and how much the people with the stickers think they understand what the Obey means. Does that matter if people don't really, I was going to say get it, but I assume it's in the eye of the beholder, yes?
Yeah, there's definitely that latitude for interpretation, but what the image was always designed to do was to just encourage people to analyze the agenda behind every image they're confronted with. And I've called my work in a joking way propaganda, because what I believe my work really is designed to do is to make people more aware of propaganda, more sensitive to propaganda. But even my work has an agenda. So transparency and getting people to think about the dynamics, hoping to make the invisible hand of persuasion more visible. That's what I'm trying to do with my work. Well,
just as John Lewis said, there's good trouble in my estimation. There is good propaganda as well. Shepard Fairey, it's really good to meet you, and everybody's really looking forward to this work. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, Jim.